Good morning, it's at Loeb Clark. We want to talk about a subject that is a health epidemic going on in America. It's been going on, and it's drug use. Okay, now I want to talk about a couple different types of drug use. The reason why is because it's going to add up to the hypocrisy in our in our government, in the way that they approach these drugs. Okay, so as you may know, the government is attacking the prescription painkillers, the painkillers, which are supposed to be used and through breakthrough medicine for pain relief in very serious situations. And we know that they are addictive, and they are abused, and they're an opiate, or they are a chemical, or they are synthetic opiate. Basically, it's morphine. It's the same thing. It's in the poppy. Okay. Well, what I'm trying to say is, okay, now on the outward way, they want to ban a lot of this use of this medicine and make it hard to get, which is a good thing, for the simple fact that a lot of these people are abusing these pills and are dying from using these pills because they're not using them as prescribed, and they're not even they shouldn't even be using them because they got phony reasons or this and that. Okay, but what you guys need to understand is that the same crap that's in these pain pills is what's in this heroin. Okay, that killing people too as well. Okay, so it's all kind of the same high, it's the same chemical structure, basically it's the same problems. Okay, so it's all from the same thing. What it is the heroin. The problem I have is here's the thing, they're cracking down on all the people to make it look like they're responsible. And it's mostly, unless you have some very, very obvious reason, it's the lower class, like the people that are on like Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, state insurance, right, county insurance or whatever. And then the people that provide their own insurance, the middle class, they aren't going to get it as much. But the rich, they'll still get it. They'll still get it. They want to act like it applies to everyone else, but the rich will get it, believe me. But here's the problem. The majority of people that are already addicted to these medications, right, now, and which they were, regardless if they were abusing them or not, okay, I'm not agreeing with using or abusing them. I'm just saying, regardless however they were using them, they were prescribed them by a doctor, a lot of them not. I'm talking about the ones that were. And this is including all people, but in all ways, okay, but let's get to the point, okay? So you say all these people that were prescribed medications, and then they got addicted to medications, then the doctors and the governments all say no more of this medication. So all these people have been hard time to find the medicine the doctors originally put them on, and they still want to use that medication, okay, whether it's right or wrong, or whether they're using it for pain relief or to get high, okay? So you cut off all the supply, make yourself look good. But that's just the cover. That's the cover. See, it makes you look good and responsible. Oh, we're going to stop allowing people to use this pain medication so much, okay? But think about it now. Think about it. Here's the other side of the coin with this. Then we just went through this wars, okay, in Afghanistan. Afghanistan controls 90% of the heroin that comes in this country. Okay. That's a big chunk. How do you think it comes all the way from Afghanistan into this country? And the CIA and the government don't know about it. Yes, that's the right answer if you said that. Yes, I waited for you to answer. Yes, that's true. They must know about it. They must know about it. Well, why must they know about it? Because they know about anything and everything that comes in and out of this country, but they're allowing it in. They're the ones bringing it in. CIA brings it in. Now, here's the difference, okay? Now, all of a sudden, they're making money off of controlling those poppy fields, getting all that poppy, manufacturing heroin, bringing heroin, or getting the heroin here, made here from the poppy, opiates, right? And then what they do is they manufacture the heroin there or here with the product, make the product, and then all these people that know about their pill addictions, their pain, their opiate addictions, they know, or eventually they find out, usually, that heroin is the same thing and morphine, but heroin, the illegal version, of this same thing, basically, is going to have the same effect, and it's basically the same thing. They're willing to say, oh, okay, well, I'll try that, or, you know what, I'm going to do this because I can't get my pain medication from the doctor anymore. They're making it harder for me, so I'm going to try this heroin. Now, not just because it's illegal, this is not why it's just bad, okay? This kind of drugs is bad anyway, if you're going to abuse them. And if you want to use them every day, you have to use them as prescribed, and, you're not going to be able to stop using them. Probably, but the point I'm saying is, look, the people that have been using all these pills, okay, yes, these people do abuse the pills, even if they're legal pills, from a pharmacy, whether they got them from the friends or dealers or whatever, or from from the doctors. Yes, people OD on these all the time and abuse them all the time. But the problem I have is, here's the real health issue between the two. You cut all the people off from the pills. Now these people are seeking heroin off the streets, okay? And here's the other difference. They're not used to heroin. And when heroin comes in and out, guess what? Sometimes it's stronger or weaker. Then it's not always the same batch. So when people get it, they can't look at it and say, oh, like they can with the pills that they get used to using. They know, okay, they can keep track of how many they. Now, I'm not saying that they are always responsible, but there is ones that are trying to be responsible with their addictions, okay, and so they want to limit how many they use, and they keep track on that so they stay safer. Okay, this is true. This is true now, but now these people, like, say, or they might say, well, okay, if I can't find illegally find let's just say 2 or 3 Norco, I'll find a morphine or I'll get an Oxycontin, okay? And I'll just take one of those all day instead of 4 or 5 of these other weaker opiates, right? Well, whatever, right? But at least they know the amount, and they can look at how pure, and when they're familiar with the pills, they know exactly how much and what effect it's going to do if they take this or that, because they have built a tolerance, and they know from experience what these pills do, how many this equals this, or how much of this and this, right? Or at least there's a measurement scale, right? That makes it safe. So these people get used to it. The problem is these people that are getting off of the prescription pills or being told they can't have them anymore, then they go to seek heroin because they're not going to stop this habit that the doctors have started them on, right? And not all of them, like I said, some are illegal. But what I'm saying is doctors start a lot of these people on these pills, and then they cut them off, and then they go to seek heroin. And then guess what happens? They do some heroin, and they're okay, right? Or they're not. Anyways, let's just say they're okay. And they're like, oh, okay, so I can do this. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as the medication I was taking from the doctor. And I'm not, there's different ways to do the heroin. You don't have to shoot it in a needle. I'm not going to tell you all the ways or show you. I don't have heroin, and I don't have access to heroin. I shouldn't or wouldn't use it because I definitely don't need it. But it's tempting, but can't go there. Anyway, so the point is, then people start ODing left and right, and you see a upsurge in use and arrest for heroin and theft, right? And also an upsurge in overdoses. So all this is really kind of attributed, and it goes in a full circle because the government said no more pain pills, trying to look like, oh, we're the responsible parents, right? In all actuality, and then it's like, okay, hey kids, the CIA is back over here saying, hey, how about this heroin stuff, right? So they get on the heroin, and then they get to arrest people for it too, The DEA comes in and arrests people for the heroin, and they get the money every way they can out of it. But that's the main focal difference I wanted to point out. Because of the uprise in the use of heroin, there's a reason why. It's because all the people that have been addicted through the pain pill sources that come from a pharmacy, whether it's legal or prescription, from their doctor, or someone dealed it to them, that's all from that being cut off, and then these people are seeking out heroin. I'm not saying this right or wrong that they should do. I'm saying this is the reason why. Okay? I'm not saying go seek out, it's right for them, justifiable for them to go seek out illegal sources like that. What I'm saying is, and then that's what makes it dangerous, and then it's the CIA that lets it in, because it's more dangerous for them to be on heroin. The reason why is because, like I said, sometimes it could be laced with something, or something wrong with the manufacturing of it, and they don't care, they just put it out anyway. Or sometimes it comes in stronger or smaller batches, because I seen it happen all day long on Haight Street. When I lived on Haight Street, I seen New Orleans, but mostly in Haight Street. A lot of the hippie kids, the new age hippies, or whatever you want to call the new generation hippies, is mostly, the old original hippies are not on Haight Street in San Francisco anymore. There is new young kids, and a lot of them are on heroin, okay? And then you got the gutter punk kids, punk rocker kids, live on the streets, younger and older ones that are on the heroin. And then your average just heroin junkie bum that's just like by themselves, and they like to take their dose every day. The point is, I've seen these people, how they die and they drop like flies, because they use heroin on a daily basis, right? Usually it's usually about the steady same, they usually get the same like amount or the same quality, every time. Cheap black tar heroin. So they're used to about the same quality every time when they go buy it. It's usually maybe a little better, a little worse. But here's how they start dying. I've seen it I've seen it repeated so many times. Once in a while, some really good stuff comes in and they don't realize how strong it is, and they're not told, and there's no label to tell you, look, this is double what you're used to, or no measurement, or no way to tell or test it to see, you know, I mean, you could test it, but still even that could kill you if it's strong enough. So, see, my point is there's no measurement, there's no way to look at it, there's no way for the people to make a better, accurate judgment. So, what happens is when they're used to this junk heroin that's crappy all the time, every day they use this, and some more pure stuff with less of that cut stuff in it comes in, or they get better heroin that they're not used to, that's really a lot better. They do a full dose that they're used to, and guess what? They drop like flies. I've seen it happen. When it hits the street, you'll have in one night a good batch of heroin hits the street, and there's 7 or 8 kids dead in one night. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen them die in the streets, face to face. I've seen it in front of me. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about. From the ground level up. From rock bottom on up. Okay? I've seen it. I've seen this happen. And that's one of the reasons why this happens. It's sometimes, yes, the people don't know when, and then the other thing is that they mix the alcohol with the opiate, which makes the amount like 10 times worse, and that's what triggers a lot of time to stop breathing, their heart failure, their heart stops or whatnot. So I'm not making excuses, and I'm not trying to defend, condone, or any of that. What I'm just trying to point out is that they're making it, actually in one way they're making it harder, and they're making people die easier by having to basically go from a pharmaceutical grade medicine that they can measure and know the amounts that they use, or different types of strengths. It has the same effect. They know how to judge better what they're using, rather than, okay, we're just going to get this stuff from the street. We can't depend on our pharmacy anymore, but we have to get this stuff from the street now. And guess what? Once in a while, there's no way to measure, and they're not always going to tell you, hey, this is better or this is worse, because advertising it doesn't help their money, because then people kind of like, you know, it changes what they want to do. They just want to get rid of it, you know. So that's the thing. That's what I want to point out about the whole problem. And then it's the CIA that brings the heroin in. Just why do you think they went to Afghanistan? Is there oil in Afghanistan? Oh, we want to do this pipeline, gas pipelines and stuff or whatever. No. What is? It's the damn Afghani gold. That's what they were after. They were after the poppy fields. The poppy plant, if you don't know about drugs, is what they do. They take the resin from all these poppy flowers. There's a resin in it. They gather and scrape all this together, and they make the concentrate. They put it all together. They take a whole bunch of it, put it all together, and then they concentrate that into what you get for your opiate. The main source, that the main natural chemical that makes the pain relief, that gets the people high. Okay, so that's what it is. I want to explain this because it's an epidemic, and I don't want people to just think. Now, I'm not defending heroin, and I'm not defending the pain pills. I want to explain how they've rigged it. That's what I'm trying to do, and show you why it's even stupider for them to get the people down onto the heroin and try to sell them the heroin. They have all this heroin for sale. Now they want you off your pain pills. All of a sudden they get a hold on the poppy fields in Afghanistan. They get a hold on all those fields, and they start taking over the heroin there. And then all of a sudden they want to get all the people off the pain pills and reduce everyone's use of pain pills here and act like it's because a health issue and they want to be responsible for health. They don't want to be responsible for everyone's dying or being on bad medication. And they know that a lot of the people are going to seek an alternative source, because a lot of them are already not even getting it prescribed from the doctors. They're just buying it illegal anyway. So now they're seeking this alternative source that's more dangerous and illegal, and they can get more in trouble, and they don't know how to measure it. So yeah, bad idea, government, and bad idea for anyone that want to ever use this medicine. But beware of that fact, because like I said, I've seen it happen. Kids use the same junk heroin every day, and then some stuff that's more pure, or twice as strong as what they're normal, 3 times as strong as what their normal is. They use that not knowing, and they're not told, and bam, they die. Or they mix it with alcohol. They mix with alcohol, and they don't think it's going to bother them because they've done it before or whatever, and it didn't bother them, but they mix it with alcohol, and that mixing with the alcohol, you could be high on the heroin and then just drink later that night, and bam, do it that way too. So it's not like you have to be drunk and then do a shot, or do drunk and take some pills, or smoke some heroin or snort some heroin or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be in that order. The combination, while in effect with it, will kill you. So beware of that too. Okay, using these medications is not safe at all. That's not good for you. Some people, I think, do need it, and it is a health issue. Okay, it is very much so a health issue. Should not be criminal issue, but I mean, and you guys think, well, he's just nuts thinking that the CIA brings in the heroin. Well, what do you think? There's no oil in Afghanistan. Not enough for them to care about, if there is. What's the main source of their income? I mean, where do they make their money off? It's poppy fields. Okay, opium, opiates, heroin. Okay, look at the way Bin Laden's been nodding. Hey, Bin Laden's been nodding. Listen to the Eminem lyrics. Alright, so I wanted you guys to know a little bit. The people that don't know, that aren't educated in this area from the ground up, see, it helps to be from the background, okay, of an ex-addict too, because I understand it from the rock bottom up. I understand it in and out, okay, so I can give a better analysis. And that is the fact is, is this drug safe from a pharmacy? When used properly, yes. Most of the time, yes. When used the way they told by the dosage, yes. Is it addictive? Yes. Will you be addicted to it over a long time? Yes. Even using it as prescribed. But if you continue, then you'll be fine. That way it won't affect you as much. But what happens is, what I'm trying to say is it safer? Is it really safer in a way? Yes, it's safer. It's safer for the people to be on these prescription pills, and for the reasons why I explained. Now, is it much safer? Not much. But I think it makes a significant enough difference that they should not just turn people away from their pain pills. They need to do a pain management, slowly wean people off or something. It's not right to do this to people, because they turn to an alternative source. And then they get a hold of some heroin, and they have no clue, because people is addicted at different levels. So maybe someone that's addicted at a lower level may get some heroin, and they don't need only half as what they've been sold, or whatever amount. You see what I'm saying? So it's very dangerous. This is a dangerous move, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's all about money, mammon. Okay? So the CIA brings this stuff in. What do you think that was interested in? Okay, there was no oil really there in Afghanistan. There sure was some of that Afghani gold. Alright? That Love Clark, think about it. Eyes open, ears open, hearts open, minds open. Okay? Keep yourself clean. And keep yourself aware. And that is the reality. I do believe it is significant number amount that people are safer regardless on prescription medication as opposed to using an alternative illegal source, heroin, that the CIA's brought in. That is worse. And that's what they're kind of like forcing a lot of people into by taking away their medication from their doctors, stopping all the people using this medication that they've been putting people on for years. Alright, so it's that Love Clark, and recognize that I think there should be some education in this area, because I don't think people really understand. And a lot of people, especially those people that just see this heroin use spike and heroin overdose spike uprise, and then they don't understand why. They really don't understand why it's happening. It's because the government's brought it in, they want to sell it, and they've been cutting people off, pretending like, oh, we're the good big brother, we're going to cut you off from all these meds that are bad for you. They're really forcing you into an alternative source that they want to sell, and it's more dangerous than if they could see. Like I said, if they could see the amount, they're familiar with the amounts. See, there's no amount, there's no way to gauge how strong your heroin's going to be each time you use it or get some, because it doesn't come with the, it doesn't come with the milligrams, okay, or it doesn't have description on it. It doesn't come with a list and a description of how to use it or anything. So think about that. As for anyone that's just curious about that, or the people that know, this is what this video is for, so you guys know why a lot of this uprise in heroin use is going on, because the government and doctors and insurances are cutting a lot of people off from their medications, and now they have to seek alternative sources because initially they have been hooked in, and they're not going to just stop that easily. And so they know when they do their research, you've been addicted to certain things, a lot of times you do more research into what you realize you're addicted to, even if you don't admit to other people that you're addicted to something. You do the research, and most of them find out that heroin is basically the same structure, chemical structures and stuff, that does the same thing as what they're seeking with their pain pills. And then once they are cut off from their pain pills, they know, oh well, I could try to do some heroin. At that point, they're so addicted that they don't care, and they will go try it and use it and die. Alright? At Love Clark. Real life. Love you guys. Love.